Hey YouTube, happy Wednesday. How's your isolation going? Hopefully well. Thank you for all those heating. Today I thought I'd do a video of my 80s series, and while doing the video I'm going to tell you a way that you can protect you and your family by using what I talk about in the video. It's a 2-for-1. Today I'm smoking my olive wood pipe made by Carl, the olive wood piper. Don't smoke this one. In fact, I hadn't smoked it but once or twice since I've gotten it. Look at the grain. Really cool. Carl does excellent work. This thing smokes like a champion. It's just big and bulky. I like to think of this as my Jamaican bobsled team pipe. Kind of reminds me of the Jamaican flag right there. You can clench it, but it's not the lightest pipe in the world. What I love about it is I can clench it, I can smoke it, or I can crush somebody over the head if they get into my house. In all seriousness though, this thing smokes like a champion. Carl does a hell of a job, and he charges a modest price in my opinion. If you haven't checked out Carl, he's the olive wood piper, so that's a shameless plug. Anyhow, I want to talk about all this topic of isolation and social distancing. And the president said yesterday, be prepared for a rough couple weeks. Even if we social distance, experts are now saying the death toll could jump to 100,000 to 240,000, which is staggering. I mean, that's like going from 0 to 60 in no time. I really don't think, folks, that we're going to get back to any sort of normal till the fall at the earliest, me personally, but we shall see. I hope I'm wrong. I was wrong when I denounced how stupid we were for canceling all the sporting events about a month ago, so I've been wrong before. I could probably be wrong again. This time it wouldn't hurt my feelings. Not that last time did either. But I want to talk about growing up in the 80s. Sunday, especially Sunday afternoon. You know, growing up, I think I've told you many times before, grew up in Ohio. Church was the order of the day on Sunday morning. You were going to church. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it, which I'm glad and happy that we were asked and or made or forced or whatever you want to say to go to church. It was a good thing. After church, I always remembered getting home and always got the same lecture. You get in your bedroom right now and get your Sunday best off and put on your play clothes. And hang them back up. You can wear them again next Sunday. Sure enough, that's what we did. Sunday clothes off, hung back up, and play clothes come out. Then Grandma'd be in the kitchen, and I miss these days so much. My grandma was just an amazing cook, just amazing. She actually ran a catering business out of our house, which would be illegal in today's standards, but she'd cook for meals up to 300-400 people out of our kitchen. Amazing what she could do. Her homemade noodles, out of this world, folks. I will tell you, we'd have just sheets of uncut noodles hanging all over the house on clotheslines and everything. And it was a scene, man. It was a scene. And then cutting them and everything. I love when Grandma made noodles. I'd eat them raw too. Loved raw noodles. But man, my grandma could cook. She could cook. So she'd always be out there cooking something fantastic for Sunday. Didn't matter what it was, whether it was chicken or whether it was a steak, or it didn't matter. We always had something nice, a nice pot roast or a nice pork loin, or always something really nice for Sunday dinner, Sunday lunch. Grandpa'd be in the easy chair in his recliner, usually a Western on, or maybe Rockford Files, things like that is what I remember the most. we didn't usually take a Sunday paper. We usually had a paper Monday through Friday. We usually didn't get the weekend edition. Anytime we could stop at the bait store uptown and get a Sunday paper was heaven for me, because I loved the comics. I just loved how big that Sunday paper was and looking at all the ads. Dreaming about the toys I wanted. And it was like the Sears catalog mini, you know, that you could get every Sunday. Man, I loved that. So if we had a Sunday paper, if Grandpa grabbed one, I was in there all over the comics. So that lasted all of about 15, 20 minutes. Then the boredom set in. There was no way, as a kid, I'm sitting there watching a no cheesy ass Western. Now, I love them now, but not as a kid. I ain't watching the Rockford Files. And Grandpa's got the TV, so I'm not going to ask him if I could turn it. And really back then, if I go back a minute, there were 3 channels. 4, 6, and 10. ABC, NBC, CBS. Didn't even have Fox yet. So you'd get a Western, or you'd get one of those stupid Sunday news. I think they still do them. Meet the Press and all that crap. Oh, gosh. Thank goodness Grandpa didn't like that. If I rewind a second and go back to breakfast, Grandma always make pancakes or something like that. She'd always have the radio on that was on top of the refrigerator, playing country music. Me and my brother would love songs like The Squirrel Went Berserk in that old First Baptist Church, Lee Stevens, I think it is. Maybe I'm wrong. We'd love that stuff, man. But here we are. Afternoon, dinner's not lunch. We used to call it, I guess we called it dinner. We didn't really call it lunch. We called it dinner and supper. If I remember right. Dinner wasn't dinner as I know dinner now. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. I tore off outside. Usually we'd have a few people over, you know, close family. It wasn't extravagant. Sometimes, if it was a special Sunday once a month, my Aunt Ruth Ann, my Uncle Gary, my cousins Kelly and Karen would come down. That was always awesome when they came down. Usually once a month for lunch and to visit. Loved that, man. Looked forward to that. And if they weren't down, it was me outside, my brother doing his own thing. He wasn't a big sports dude. In fact, I don't know. He must have been in there watching those Westerns. I don't know what he was doing, come to think of it. Not me, man. I was out there throwing football, tearing up jeans. Jeans used to not last very long around me. Man, I'd have holes in every knees of my jeans and everything. I haven't put a hole in a pair of jeans in years. But as a kid, holy crap. Either the jeans were more crappily made, which is possible, or I was just a lot tougher on them, which is also possible, or a combination of the two. But all day, then you'd hear Grandma, come on, dinner's ready. That might get your butt inside. Sit down and we'd have a nice Sunday dinner, lunch. And we would talk like families do. What did you think of the sermon today? What did you learn? What's going to go on this week? What's happening in the news? Did you hear what happened to the neighbor down the street, or the house that caught on fire in the next neighborhood? Did you hear so-and-so got arrested? I mean, just what was going on? Current events, right? Boy, when that was over, bam, right back outside like a bolt of lightning shot me in the butt. Back to throwing the football, tearing it up, playing. I'd be out there all day again until supper was ready. Once Grandma called supper at 5 o'clock. Dinner was at noon, supper was at 5. Sharp. Once supper was called, you got your butt inside, ate your supper, and then bam, right back outside. So that was Sunday growing up in the 80s. No stores were open that I remember. Grocery stores, everybody was closed. There was nothing to do. Banks obviously closed, gas stations closed. Maybe the bait store uptown would be open if people were fishing. That'd be about it, really. Everything else was closed, and especially in town was certainly closed. You picking up what I'm putting down yet, folks? If you stuck with me this 10.5 minutes? Figured it out yet? This isn't the cure to COVID-19, but this is the way to flatten the curve. And I would submit to you today, the way we need to flatten the curve of this thing is to have Sunday in the 80s every day. Did you hear what I was telling you? Stayed at home. Very few people come to visit, if any. Stayed outside in the fresh air all day. Didn't travel. Didn't go to stores. Now, we did go to church, so maybe you would have to do that online. Everything else shut down, closed, day of rest. Read the paper, watch the TV, play outside. That was it. So there you have it. That is Buckeye's way, so to speak, of how we as a society could help flatten the curve of COVID-19 and get out of this sooner. Because if people keep doing what they're doing right now and not listening, this will drag on the rest of this year. You could about take that to the bank. And when they said 100,000 to 240,000 will die in the next 2 weeks, I about hit the floor. Because when you look at North Carolina, we've had 8 deaths. 8 deaths. That's a tough word. I can't say deaths for some reason. We've had 8 deaths so far. Not that that's not tragic. It certainly is. Certainly tragic for those families and those people. But you would expect that number to be 20 times that. It hasn't yet. As this thing changes every hour, we're learning more and more every hour. So I could ramble on another 20 minutes or 30 minutes. I won't do that to you. Thanks for watching. Check out that clincher. Man, what a good clinching pipe. All seriousness though, this thing's heavy, but you can clinch it pretty good. It's got a really nice stem on it, really nice button. Really good. Yeah, if you got a manly jaw like this, even if you don't, you can still clinch it. Think about what I told you. That was Sunday in the 80s. And if we all practiced Sunday in the 80s, we'll flatten this COVID-19 curve and get back to normal, hopefully by June or July. Take care, everybody. Wishing you all the blessings in the world. Pay it forward. Take care of somebody out there. Check on your neighbors. They definitely could use it this time, especially if they're elderly. Don't hoard the toilet paper. Plenty to go around. Stay home. Stay out of the stores. We'll catch you next time. Have a good day, everybody.